Hi guys, Randy here, just giving you a quick heads up for this episode. So we recorded this episode and it was pretty long, and I know I have put out long episodes before, but I honestly have no intention of having you guys go through too many of those episodes anymore. And this one was particularly long. It was almost 5 hours long. So what I have done instead is cut it into bits. So just giving you a heads up that you will hear this one end a bit early. You'll know when it's ending because you'll hear the ending music. I just don't want you to be surprised. So look out for the first part of this right now because you're hearing me, and look out for the rest in maybe 2 or 3 other parts as we move throughout the rest of the month or months. Thank you to our guests, 876 Invest, for really contributing to this one, and you guys are going to hear a lot more of them, obviously, because as I said, we cut this one into bits. Enjoy. Hi guys, welcome to another week of earnings season. I'm your host Randy at RTRO on Twitter.
And I'm Dundas at H.Ja on Twitter.
And this is earnings season, another earnings season. And this week we are going back to doing our market review. And we are trying to get through the last almost 30 stocks. So we're calling back up. We're calling some of the gentlemen from 876 Invest. We have 2 of them here with us now. One can join us a little bit. But the 2 gentlemen here from 876 Invest, we've had one on before, I believe. Or is it new for both of them? No, wow, both of them are new. Every time I see them, I said to them earlier, so every time I see them, it's like a gang. every time I see them, is like it's somebody else. So I'll ask them to introduce themselves right now. I'll start with Henel. Am I saying that right? Henel or Henel? Henel Vidal?
I promise to saying it wrong just because they're you.
Yeah, I probably am. Henel, you have to unmute to let people hear you.
It's Enel Vidal. So the H is
Enel
silent.
Vidal.
Yeah.
Sorry, the H is silent. Sorry about that. So introduce yourself, sir.
Sir.
All right. So Enel Vidal. Been an investor for maybe 3 years now. Yeah, pretty much. And a student, a UE student.
I see.
Oh yeah.
Where you study at UE?
Oh, civil engineering.
Oh, cool. Sound good.
Yeah.
Right. Practical man.
Indeed.
Yeah. That's what you want to go into. What you want to go into when you actually leave that or investing? Investing seem to steal everybody away from them.
But they want it.
Yeah, it's true. And a lot of engineers go into investing, like Peter Bunting, those kind of guys. So like, I'm waiting. Huh?
Maybe it's chairman.
Yeah, Chris Berry. Yeah, he did industrial engineering actually.
Yep.
So yeah, it's one of those fields that it's appealing to us, and because of what we do, we do a lot of like cost management. So whenever you're doing something, you have to make sure it's beneficial cost wise. So I think that's where it kind of stemmed from. So yeah, it's kind of natural.
You're stuck in an area where you have to be exceedingly practical.
Yeah, and very precise.
Yeah, wow. I like that. So at the end of the day, it's not whether or not it sounds good or if it look good. Your job is to ensure so it's still the structure. It can't collapse. It has to
yeah, because if it collapses, that's 100 people dead. You'll lose a license. So it's very, very precise.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe that is why. And your companion here for this episode is Schaunn Thomas. Schaunn, I'm pronouncing your name wrong, or I managed to get it right?
I mean, I say Thomas, you say Thomas. The Schaunn is the important.
Sorry, but say your name. Say your name and introduce yourself, sir, for the people. I won't ruin it.
All right. My name is Schaunn Anthony Thomas. I've been investing for a little over. Well, my first investment account when I was 16, but then I didn't really pay much attention. So I've been taking it serious for a little over a year. Final year accounting student at UE. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So, well, you definitely well in the wheelhouse. So, if you're it's funny enough, you're in the area where many don't become investors.
Yep.
I always wonder why.
Yeah, you're going to find out in a few years.
You talk to accountants and you get it really quickly.
So, you are you also wrapping up your accounting degree, Schaunn?
Well, yeah, I just did the last set of exams a few weeks ago. So just waiting on the
Congrats,
results
man.
for those. Thank you.
Yeah, you know the results already, right? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm,
Bag
I'm
up and
pretty
clap up.
confident in them. So
Which is
Yeah,
right.
man. Graduate already, freedom. You start so you on post graduation, what are you looking into doing?
well, actually, I'm looking at doing the CFA certification while I'm working. So I've been working while I've been doing this last year of school. So I'm looking to just continue that, make it a full time job, and then do the CFA while I'm doing that. After
Okay,
that,
Cool.
we'll
got you.
see.
What about
Yeah,
accounting? What about accounting exams?
that's actually after the CFA.
Oh, cool.
So you go straight ACCA after that. So CFA then ACCA.
Correct.
Oh wow. So you are looking to stay within the field. So you're looking at a job in the field?
Well, yeah, I currently work in accounts currently.
Oh, you work what? Man, keep that secret then you need to tell people that, man. Or you don't want to tell people you work.
Yeah, I don't really want to tell them where, but I work in
you work
accounts.
you work for a house?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, that's good. That's good that at least you get in the practical. How many people in the department invest?
About there is a department of 8, and I think 3 of them invest outside of myself, so it's 4 of us in total.
Oh, that's not bad. That's way ahead of the industry.
Mm.
Half only invest, 50%. It's way ahead, man. That's pretty good. All right. Well, I'll allow your brother when him join to do his own introduction. I hope him stayed in the field too. But so we're going back to our review, as I said, and we last did. What's the last thing we did? Then was it proven?
Proven. Yeah.
So we're starting off with PTL, Paramount Trading Limited. I mean, Paramount Traders is one of them companies that nobody do even hardly anybody owns it of the shares, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working from memory. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to say something on them. I realize they're not very popular on the market, but they're actually a very good company. I think Hugh Graham is the owner. Yeah, Hugh Graham is the person over there.
Yeah, almost every company is a good company. What do you mean by a good company?
All right, no, all right. Let me state it a different way. Where they're in a space where I think they're probably the only person in that space, and I think
Yeah, I believe so.
yeah,
What is that space though?
it can be overlooked. So the space they're in is chemicals. So they provide chemicals on an industrial scale, especially like even road construction. A lot of chemicals that are used for road construction, they're involved in that. And
The right person for this.
yeah, so that kind of connect back to my background a little bit. So
Okay.
that kind of sparked a little interest. And then I did a little reading on them, and I saw that back in, I think it was 2017, they actually purchased the chlorine, I think it was chlorine operations from Separate, back when Separate was streamlining their activities. And that's very interesting. I think them and Berger Paints are the only persons locally to produce it on like a mass scale. Chlorine,
Produce what?
I think it's chlorine.
Okay. Okay.
And they were looking into going into, I don't remember what it is,
I
but
think they bought Allergenic Petroleum.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they bought Allergenic Petroleum. But Henel, if you know them, you can't half know them, brother. It's not like you know them from the output of their business, but I mean, investing isn't just about the day to day. Like I said, almost every company is good, but are they
Yeah,
in terms of investing? Why do you think? You touched on it when you said they're not popular? Why do you think they're not popular?
I think they're not popular because a lot of people don't really know them or hear about them much. Because even the other day, they did a deal with Fesco, where they're going to provide Fesco with lubricants. A deal worth like 250 million or something like that. You
Yeah,
know,
I don't watch those numbers.
these are the hard, yeah.
The they said they're going to do a distribution deal because they have the allergen the license at they bought the license when they bought allergen
Yeah.
or they got something to do with the licensing, but it's not well. I can't speak for why you think that they're not known on the market. They're known. They're just like I said, they're not very well owned. But you can't own them. The shares are controlled heavily. If I remember serving right, I think they're between Hugh Graham and his connected parties. I believe a good maybe close to all the shares now
Yeah.
are
So
controlled.
the number one shareholder has 1 0.2 billion on the shares, and they're 1.5 outstanding. So
Exactly.
you know that.
Yeah.
Within top 10, they own most of the shares.
Yeah. So it's just not a very liquid stock. It doesn't trade. Don't trade very often. It doesn't move very much when it trades, and that has actually been a protection for it, I believe, over the last few. They may have had some improvement recently, but I remember over the last few years they haven't had very good results.
Yeah,
the profit has slipped again and again and again and again as they go through. I'm not sure what they were going through, if it was a rebuild or a retooling or what. But yeah, it has not been strong for them on the profit side of things, at least. It has been strong for them. So growing revenue might indicate that they're not, well, we know for a fact, like we just heard like 2 or 3 things that they've bought into. So they have a growing business, but not much else coming out of it. And trading the stock has to be something that, like, you're almost forced to be long term with this stock.
Yeah,
pretty much forced to be long term.
If you're going in any significant volumes, then you might be in there for a while.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, literally, it will go like a month and no trade, or go a month and trade once, twice for the month. We're in July now, and it has traded once so far, and it has, and before that, the first time we traded was the 24th of June. It's not a very liquid stock at all, boy. But the company itself is working and is turning business and is making money. So
indeed,
and
their response to COVID was to produce more. What do you call it again? Cleaning agents, hand sanitizer.
Yeah, because they're in that chemical business. Yeah, so we see the advantage of them.
Turn that out. Yeah.
But
the real issue is, okay, so that side of the business is doing well. They're producing on that side with the sanitizer. But what about the rest of the business? How is that producing? How is that selling? If you can't sell more of the other things and only one segment of the business that make up X amount of revenue, then you're not really sure that it's really going to be a good plan to save them. But it might just bring them through the time, to be honest. So I have to look into that. But I think they'll come out of this fine, but they might not see a very great Q2 in the upcoming results. So.
Yeah, but the price is rock solid. They don't have to really worry about the price going anywhere, even if they slip. Yeah, not very exciting, and you don't really get much of it. You speak to your licensed investment advisor about that.
Indeed.
And of course,
this is where we give our disclaimer.
Nobody on the show is a licensed investment advisor. Neither Henel, unless Henel or Schaunn suddenly know something that we don't know. But yeah, none of us are licensed investment advisors.
No.
The show is not investment advice, and speak to your licensed investment advisor if you want to get proper investment advice. So that's PTL. Coming right after that is Pulse, one of the most exciting stocks for the year.
One of the stocks to talk about for the month.
Oh my God, we'll beat this one red. I don't know if there's anything for us to
drive it to the ground. Like, is there anything else for us to say, really?
Anything?
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead, you sound like you have something you wanted to say on it.
I just expect more of the same from Pulse. There's been a very good company, very solid, and throughout this whole thing, revenues still strong. As I say, only 2%. They're only expecting a 2% decrease in revenues. So there's a very solid company. And when I was looking at their article about them expanding into their television offerings, the Caribbean Model Search and one other show, they're going to increase the amount of countries they're sending it to. So they're going to increase it in the US through iRejams and a host of other Caribbean countries. And they said they want to increase their coverage in the UK as well. So, and Africa, I think. So, it's just a lot of great things I'm expecting from them going forward.
Yeah, that sounds nice. They're also, you mentioned iRejam, which we're expecting them probably to take a stake in early.
Yeah.
They're an investment company, so probably take a stake in there. They have, you've named all of the businesses, and we've beaten this one to death.
Even the construction arm.
They have a construction arm.
Well,
I did not know.
well, not an arm, but they're venturing into it. I think they built some units, and they're going to sell majority of them and keep some of them for rental and that kind of thing.
You mean the real estate?
Real estate.
Yeah,
Oh,
real
yeah,
estate
you're
arm.
fluent, man.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
bad.
Yeah,
that
two
sounds different from
things.
construction. Very
Really?
different.
Really, yeah, my
Two
bad.
different things. Yeah, yeah. The real estate continues to
Yeah.
do well enough.
So they had some
because-
land and they're expanding on it now and
Yeah.
putting some more stuff on it.
Yeah. Hi to Sir Dundas,
Yes.
who has joined us. Nicholas Dundas. Hail, hail, hail. Introduce yourself to the people, Nicholas.
All right, people. Well, I'm Nicholas Dundas. I'm currently on the last lap, the final semester of my master's program at UWI. I'm studying corporate finance. You know, it's clear I love finance. It's my passion. And yeah, I guess that's me.
But that introduction is only the most cool challenge because of all of them.
Right?
In the future, God's willing, I would like to become
Man, them perfect the art of giving them name and holding all other info. I try to figure out since when young Jamaican men get so Freddy.
Yo, the school number there.
When young Jamaican women are listening, that's when.
Oh wow.
Hey man, I get in trouble.
So all three, well, one engineer and two financial engineers. You also plan to stay within the field when you graduate, Dundas?
Yeah, definitely. Right now my life is all about finance, Virginia. So like, if I can live finance the rest of my life, I definitely would.
Well, I mean, you don't have a choice. You just would. I don't think I acknowledge it.
I acknowledge it from the jump. I notice.
Yeah. All right. I like that. You also you plan to stay within. Are you also working in the field currently? You say you're doing your masters.
No, I'm full time. I have no time for it. I mean, I want to look at something with my uncle offering, but that really won't pass.
Yeah.
But I'm full time, so.
Wow, I get you. And a master's in finance is what your concentration in the masters?
Right, it's corporate finance. So
corporate finance. Okay, yes, you had said that. Wow, that's good. And you're young. Sorry, you guys didn't give you ages. What's the age?
Oh yeah, I'm 22.
You're how old?
22.
22.
Yes, sir.
That's your child in the background.
My child at 22.
Well, that's not even far fetched. That's light.
Yo, you're right.
Yeah, well, that's good. I like that. That's not even a possibility in your mind, right? So you're ready. I like that. Yeah, I can't tell that. Get used to the gelding jokes.
Yo,
come off of the truck.
Yeah. Don't rush and come off of the truck. The truck is quite comfortable.
True.
May I drive the truck, Virgin?
Yeah, no, you're not. Trust me. No, you're not. Boy. Yeah. So we just to catch you up, we're doing a quick. Continue a quick review, and we are we're currently at Pulse, but Pulse is one of those stocks that we've beaten to death on this show because we've spoken so much about it. So, I'm just going to move on very quickly to Purity, which is next in line. Purity is known most for their
Baking and Birdie.
Yeah, Miss Birdie.
Miss Birdie.
Yeah, Miss Birdie crackers that in my view just came out of nowhere and everybody immediately act like them did know it.
Yeah.
There was a time when there was no Miss Birdie's crackers, and then all of a sudden everybody just know Miss Birdie.
Yep.
But it tastes great. But they're in
consolidated bakers.
They're in a heavy industry. They're in a heavily competitive industry, and I believe they had. I feel like we spoke about this before, Dana. I don't know why.
Because I talk about honey bun.
You think so?
Yeah.
Purity isn't the one that has the not European, but that ISO pass for their plant.
That was honey bun.
That was
Wow.
Is that the HAACP thing?
Yes, and it is honey bun that has that.
Yeah.
So Purity is one of their competitors. Like I said, a stiff competitive area. But Purity is Consolidated Bakers of Jamaica. Anybody know them and love them off? Know them stock and love it off? Know all the information about them stock already? Anybody follow it up?
You don't have
Yeah,
to go up it just now.
No, not really.
yeah, not a
You know?
big. I'm not big on
Not a
that.
big fan.
Furthest
Not a
I've
big
gone
fan, or
is
you
look
don't
at
follow
it.
it up?
I don't really follow it up that much. Like it's not high up on my radar.
Okay. Well, I know that they, like everybody else, has been feeling the pinch. Well, I think
Yep.
they've been feeling the pinch from before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think their pinch days predate anything
Yeah, man, they've
else.
been in it. But the funny thing, you mentioned Miss Birdie and how it just came about, and then it was this big thing, the crackers alone. But then if you look at the rest of the a good amount of the other items that they produce, they're under the Miss Birdie brand now. So they have Miss Birdie muffins, Miss Birdie doing everything. So it looks like I'm not sure if they're pivoting fully into being Miss Birdie, because I think I eat from him is raisin bread, and I haven't seen that change since Miss Birdie. From before Miss Birdie's been about the same thing. But it's some of them items you can see that yeah, it's Birdie branding on more than just the crackers. So I think that's a push of theirs. But like purity bake, like in baked goods in general, you know people that buy purity rolls, purity bread. I don't know if that's really.
No,
So,
I know the rolls. You said rolls.
mhm.
I like it, in my mind. I can see the rolls in the gas station or the supermarket. It's so funny. I think gas station. I think purity.
Yes, I think the same are funny one for a large part too,
Yeah,
because that type of thing in there.
yeah. That's sort of
Snack.
impulse purchase,
Mm-hmm.
convenience store sort of thing. That's where the money comes from heavily. They made a loss last year. Looking at the financials right now, they made a loss last year, 14 million. So currently for their first quarter, with them at a profit of 8 million, 8.5 million in profit on 299 mil revenue is a better look for them until you compare it to the same period last year where
Yeah.
they're at where they're at 14.5 million. So yeah, that's the fate of being in a competitive industry, right? You can grow the revenue all you want, but those costs come and hit you no matter what.
Yeah, the type of spending that happens on their type of item, on their items. Like, it's not like a good households will necessarily, boy, I need this. And well, for Miss Bird is for some things people will buy it on a consistent basis. But say a pastry, every now and then somebody will buy it, but you're not going to find where the market will grow to the point where everybody will feel like, oh, I need this type of thing in my life. You get me? So like bread, national sell bread hard. I'm not sure. I'm a purity bread. I'm not.
Honey bun roll. I'm looking for honey bun, nothing else.
You serious?
The purity. Of course. Virgin, come on, man.
Yeah, no.
Oh gosh, the purity people supposed to be brawling when them hear that, but the reality is the reality, and I'm sure they know it. They know the space that they're in. But looking at the stock price, however, versus the operations of the business is pretty much the same thing. They stay in a steady area because I think they had their major drop, if not last year, the year before. There are people I believe in purity that have been waiting for purity to break out for a long
when I joined this thing, people honey bun purity. Those are people just waiting on them to be good.
And all know.
Hope is not a strategy.
Honey bun soon first.
Say that again.
I say honey bun soon shut the world.
Well, I mean, honey bun
did get a good rise.
Yeah, it has already kind of moved, I believe. But we touched that on already. I believe it has gotten a lot of a move, and honey bun seems to have found a lot of efficiencies.
Yeah.
In the last few quarters, but purity, 2 years ago, January 1, 2018, they're trading on $1.87. And in it's in a little region between $1 and a little over $2, right? Between high ones and low twos. Now we are in July 2020, and the stock price is $1.57. It doesn't ever leave that little region there. So, I mean, they need something major to happen to them, in my view, for the stock price to move. And I don't see that major thing coming anytime soon. But you know what it could be? COVID could be it, you know. These guys could be bleeding. And when people are bleeding, that's when a lot of opportunities happen. We see it happening with the well, maybe it's just me looking with the cruise lines, the cruise industry. You check that out recently, Danai?
Talking about I have Carnival Cruise Line.
Oh, but wow! Oh, you also invest overseas.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
you should have give the people. You should have give the people a little bit of guys on the can half shy when they're not doing thing, you know.
When I really, I mean, yeah, as soon as I hear it from them, you get me.
Yeah, I invest overseas as well.
Oh, so but you're excited about that, but not the local market.
No, not like that. Not
Oh
like
no,
that.
no, 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 it's not like
I
that.
just point it out. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, man. What else you
I'm
do?
definitely excited about CCF for sure.
You can tell about CCR, which is Carnival Cruises. But just
Yeah.
before you tell me about Carnival Cruises, because I was just mentioning that as an aside,
Mhm.
or to tell the people what I want to do. Tell the people about 876 Invest. I'll pause and allow you guys to do that.
All right. Well, A76 Invest. I think you said it in the last time we were here that we're an initiative that basically we're advocating for financial literacy. So we just want Jamaica to be, for the public to understand how important it is to be financially literate and make the tools accessible for people to start to use it and start to prepare themselves for it. Tap into the economic growth that we should have been having. It might be a little different now, but you know, to grow with Jamaica, try to be a part of that. Me personally, as it relates to me in finance,
And that's Nicholas
I mean,
Dundas speaking.
yeah,
Sorry.
this is Nicholas Dundas speaking. So I've as I say, I love finance. So everywhere I can dip my finger, I will try to see what I love the most, and I've put a finger in forex, the JSE, I dipped into the US market as well. So I mean, I have a little bit of knowledge here and there, and trying to gain the experience. I mean, I'm fairly new to it regardless. I started where we 2020. I started at the end of 2018 or 19. 19. Yeah, like September 2019. So
Really? So you're
I'm fairly
months into it?
yeah, I'm fairly new to it. You get me?
Hold on. You start your masters in finance before you started investing?
No, my master started September.
Oh, and you start investing when?
Well, September. Well, I started investing hard in September, but I had Sigma from like July.
Schaunn,
That was overseas.
you see why accountants don't really invest now.
Why?
I don't know why, but there's just something about them. There's something about people who know and deal with these numbers every day that for some reason just turns them off actually investing behind these numbers. And I don't get it. I'm gonna count how much money you're making via your balance sheet, but but won't actually invest in the balance sheet. I don't know.
I find it very odd as well because we learned about investing from sixth form. Learn about stocks from sixth form, and I didn't do it straight through uni. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, it's something strange. There's something about it being viewed as an academic thing versus the reality of it. I find, but I'm glad that there's two on this call at least, not making that mistake and actually dipping your fingers in the market. So I'd mentioned, just to wrap everything up, I'd mentioned Carnival Cruise Lines as Corona being a possible advantage for them. So everybody, wow, I said Corona Cruise Lines. Carnival Cruise Lines. I'm so sorry. So I mentioned Corona being a possible advantage for them because it is for some industries. And what's happening is that they're buying out a lot of the smaller competitors because the competitors can't take the heat right now. They can't take the time without any cruises, any money coming in, and they're going out of business. And so you see the big guys, Royal Caribbean, Royal Cruise Lines, and Carnival Cruise Lines, which are two of the, I think, the two of the largest in the world. Yeah, you see them buying up a lot of their competitors, their smaller competitors now. And I was saying that might actually be, who knows? I don't know of any. Let me be clear that I don't know anything about that happening within the food, not fast food, but the baked goods, fast consumption market. Let's say the market that consolidated bakeries is in, and honey bun is in. I don't know if that's happening, but I can see generally where that could be the case, where there's an opportunity now for some of the bigger players to snap up some of the smaller, lighter players. So while to me, Purity's stock price is a sad thing, and while I also think that, they're also overvalued in my view currently, but in terms of real business and actual business, it might be an opportunity for a competitor to say, hey, you're bleeding. Why not join forces with us? Why not mergers and acquisitions? Why not? Let's not merge. Let's merge, And sometimes you get a nice merger where it's a air quotes merger, like, RJ Arglino, where one is obviously richer than the other and helping the other out. And who knows, something like that could maybe happen and make this company or the stock price suddenly break out of the bands that it has been stuck in for 2 years.
Indeed.
But until then, I think people have a long way to go
Mhm.
because overvalued and getting hit by corona is not a good look for them. And I'm sure a lot of the sales happen because of school kids.
Schools, yeah.
Yeah, and schools have been out for a while. So yeah, rough. I would not want to own those stocks right now. Coming up now is another one, the big one, another big dog, QWI, John Jackson's vehicle. The vehicle I will put to John Jackson a lot, although it's not John Jackson alone. It's him and his team. But he's probably the most visible face locally from that team. So Jam Tees, John Jackson's QWI. QWI at 75 cents. How you guys feel about it?
Crickets.
At 75 cents,
right?
I think is
Crowd goes wild.
a damn good deal, bro.
You think it's a what?
It's a good deal. I mean, the last NAV we see is $1.03. So I mean, at 75.
Yeah, I mean that nice. When has it ever traded at its NAV?
Yeah.
And
Never,
again, the
I'm
crowd
sure.
goes mild.
Yeah, probably when it just started trading.
Maybe.
No, when it just started, it was on the first day, I mean.
Yeah, but after that, after that it just went downward.
Yeah, so I say that to say that I don't okay, so the NAV is whatever, that's cool. I mean, it's way below its NAV, its net asset value, but how does that impact the actual share price? Because we've seen that a discrepancy between it and the share price don't matter. As of the 10th of July, it has a net asset value of $1.02. And that's Friday. So on Friday, it's worth $1.02 in terms of its net asset value. And in terms of the actual share price, it's at 75 cents. How much lower is that? More than 25 percentage points lower.
Yep.
Huh? That's crazy. And who cares? So the net asset value is 102. So, I mean, who's going to buy it at 102 to bring it all the way up? I mean, I think the market needs something to shock it. I mean, I still like QWI. I still love QWI.
The thing is, I'm not sure that most investors are checking there now. So,
yeah,
I figure
that is true.
They get a surprise when, oh my God, the results look a certain way.
Yeah.
When the results show the effect of the NAV.
That's exactly it. Good results will shock the market into recognizing the value here. Possibly. Because the market move quick on bad news and like molasses on good news. So who knows? And I have said before, I think I said the last episode, that I believe that the market does have in my view, a bias towards against John Jackson, and John Jackson is a primary face of this company. So what can we say? They have, in my view, exciting things happening, but until the market is ready to recognize it, market not going to recognize it. In the meantime, though, QWI has been steadily buying up their own shares, right? Quietly, not quietly because it's announced, but either the company or connected parties or directors have been snapping up shares at what they think is a much lower value, which I can understand doing. Yeah.
I'm still trying to stop him on this.
You're still trying to do what, Dundas?
I'm still trying to understand what's going on with Access. Like,
what do you mean?
As in,
understand what's going on with Access?
As in QWI and Access. The size.
Yeah, go ahead, Dundas. Be a little clearer.
Yeah,
I think
what are you trying to say?
I mean, I don't want it to come across like, how do I say this and not say this? Basically, I'm just trying to understand, like, why is it they'll go so heavy? Nothing serious. Just why.
You listen to this show? Maybe you don't listen to this show. I can understand that.
Clearly, he doesn't listen to this show.
Yeah, we don't pull punches. We don't pull punches on the show. Ask what you're asking.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tactics. So I want to know why them are gone so heavy now.
Oh,
so, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna manage them still. Is it, man?
No, I said the same thing last episode. They made what in my view was a terrible buy for a terrible stock.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
and
access,
it hurt them. It hurt them.
it hurt them quarter after
Last,
quarter after
yeah.
quarter.
Yep. I'm not seeing where the price they got that was the best price to get it at.
It
Like,
was a
Just
it just
can't
terrible
never makes
price.
sense
understand
to
it.
me. It's a bad price.
Yeah. And to buy so much of the business at a bad price. I mean, I never saw anybody. You see, so this Dundas is me saving myself because I was about to say I never saw anybody with any sense being excited about proven selling the access shares, right? But I'm thinking about how many
Right.
people were publicly excited, and I might have to
Uh-huh.
edit this, or I might not. Who knows? But the truth is the truth. Right? It was, in my view, a bad buy. So I have admitted that I don't have all the information. So
Yes, sir.
maybe the company principals knew something grand that will happen
Or
3
maybe
years down
maybe
the
it's a
line.
timeline thing, yeah.
Yeah,
And I said it's a
and
good
don't
time
get
to
me
get
wrong.
this much shares.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a great thing. If you know something good is going to happen with access 3 years from now, and you can use other people's money, because that's what QWI is really, right? You can use other people's money and buying heavily to something that will be good 3 or 5 years from now. Sure, go ahead and do it. And if the price of doing it is you're going to have to go through 3 years of bad results to get 1 year of amazing results, then that price might be worth it for you. I can't say no, because these guys own so many shares that they naturally view the company differently from the regular person just buying the stocks on the market, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for them, maybe there's some, I have to give them that room for maybe they have a great deal there. But just looking on the face of it as I see it, no, it's a terrible buy. Terrible buy, and an obviously terribly buy. But maybe they know something I don't know. And what I do know is that what what they say, what suits you might sorry you, or what's bad for you could also turn out to be one of your greatest strengths, right? So who knows, maybe access could be good for them in the meantime, but for now, nobody cares. Yeah, people care as much about the share price as they do about the NAV, which is not at all. More than 25% below the NAV, and nobody cares. And the truth is, the NAV, I think maybe the only thing that trades close to its NAV is Select F. Maybe. I haven't even honestly checked that in a long time.
Well,
Yeah.
well, Select F has fallen. I think Select MD kind of stay closer to the now.
What? I don't think it's MD trades really.
Well,
there we go.
That's the next thing.
There we go. And Select MD won't trade until either GK or Wysinco throw up some wonderful results, and then everybody will discover it. Just like our Select F not going to trade until after. You want to see trade? wait till NCB results drop. Not when it come back. I said when the results drop. It's very specific in what I said. When the next results coming from NCB, what you guys think of them gonna look like?
I don't have a definitive stance right now. I've been hearing people are saying they expect bad results based on
I
just
don't want to hear what
saying,
other
oh, because
people
of
are hearing.
corona. But I personally can't see. I can't see. All right. Well,
Are you
fees from
contractually
commission.
not allowed to speak on them?
Huh?
I don't want to get
Was it?
nobody in trouble, Are you
Oh,
like
no, no, no,
contract?
no, 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 no,
Okay.
no. I just haven't been looking into NCB like that. But I've been hearing a lot of talking about how people are worrying about it because corona, and I mean, I just can't see, how corona is going to be hurting them when it comes to, commissions much.
Expected credit losses, bro.
There we go. It's
Expected
the
credit
money.
losses.
IFRS 9. But what's going to change all of a sudden? They would have
Bro, what I'm saying is,
already.
if you have more people that are not working or that are earning less money, then if you have loans and those kind of things out to those people, then your expected credit losses is going to have to go up. They're not
And do you
getting
think
as
it's
much
going to be
money.
material?
And you have to
But
You have to think of,
account
you have
for
to,
those expected credit
wait,
losses through the P&L.
the moment
Indeed.
they
Yeah,
It's
recognize
the
gonna,
it,
moment you realize it, you have to recognize it in the yeah.
Yes.
IFRS 9 something.
I think it, I think
However,
it's gonna be a
but
big
do you
player.
think it's material? You think it's material?
What?
Yeah, do you
What
know how many
percentage of
people are really
NCB's
affected, bro?
business is? Forget how many people are affected. Look, consider the business and not necessarily the people up front. What percentage of NCB's business is loans?
I have a statement.
All right, and there we go. And a huge part of NCB's profit comes from cap markets, right? What percentage of cap market has to account for ECL, not just through loans, but also through maybe some of their other holdings? some of those very safe bonds. That,
That's not so safe anymore. The rate you get a ratings chop, then guess what? E still gone up.
Yeah, we've
yeah,
seen a bunch of
so,
those ratings drops.
right?
Yep.
And you, when I say what sweet you might sorry you, the thing you
Here.
boast
Again.
about this year, or the thing you boasted about 3 years ago, might be the thing that beating you up right now.
Barbados bonds.
Also consider NCB now is bigger than NCB last year, right? NCB
Yep.
now is GHL also. Ooh,
Big.
yeah. So the NCB now is bigger than NCB a year or 2 years ago. So consider what GHL's credit losses might be, because those have to be booked under NCB also, right? So there's a consideration there. So it's the entire NCBFG group, and it's GHL, and there are opportunities within any crisis for movement and for gains, but reality is they might just have to face a little bit of heat.
Yep.
And it's good, right? You guys would say that it's not a loss in a real sense. ECLs aren't real losses. They don't have to pay out any cash. So it might mean that the
Yeah,
cash
non-cash
position is
losses.
even nicer.
Never
I,
forget
I, I,
your dividend
go
point,
ahead.
Randy.
I think NCB, the business, has a whole heap of plans and they're making a lot of moves. And I like some of those moves that I see happening. So if they have to drop some bad results in this time, I mean, people can still see what is happening otherwise with the business and they should know what to do with that, you know?
Yeah, good luck. NCB
Yeah.
is not has not been
No,
hitting there.
I don't mean right now. I just saying if you NCB overall, we know even if these results are bad, we know NCB isn't bad as a business
Oh
or
yeah,
as a
definitely.
company. So I mean, we know even if these expected credit losses are high and they hit the results, we know what NCB is about and what they will do going forward about it.
Yeah, but we know, but guess what?
I know
The
everybody know.
person that wake up tomorrow and see bad results, they say, well, time to sell these stocks.
Yeah.
That's
And you know how that go. And NCB love getting that hit. Nobody,
Right?
there's not a stock people love selling more than NCB. Good times, yeah.
Fact.
Bad times, boy.
Yeah. Anybody sneeze outside, them run left the NCB.
Yo, if you're a stock, if a next stock do bad, them start selling NCB too.
That's true. That's true.
I start realizing it might be a big deal for you because I will personally, I think cash flows, everybody knows cash is king. I really love, I pay close attention to cash flow statements, and non-cash losses never really bother me. But I realize that people tend to only look at the bottom line, and regardless of whatever the story behind it is, they're still going to see a loss and be like, oh, the company's in trouble and blah blah blah, regardless of why loss is incurred.
Yeah. But says
is your bottom line give you a dividends? I think Randy explained that really well when we were talking about separate, and I had raised a concern about them getting profit, a good amount of the profit number from their tax credits. And Randy is a very important point, which is very important for a stock like NCB, where the investors are there for dividends. Your dividends are paid from retained earnings. Any negative on that, it chops into your retained earnings. So yes, you have a good cash position, but say no, your ability to pay out dividends is much less. In NCB, you can see that they're all about paying those consistent dividends. They have a dividend plan going into the year. They tell you this year all dividends going to go up, so you know how much dividends for the rest of the year you're going to get. That type of thing, you can see that they're very much for the investor that goes into dividends. So bottom line really, really matters. If you get a good bottom line and you don't have cash on hand right now, at some point you can still pay a dividend.
Man.
Your dividend ability really comes from your bottom line.
Exactly. You remember when we spoke about this many episodes ago, and I said that you can actually, I think it was the same point the same time we were talking about. I said you can actually have a loss, book a loss, borrow a loan, and pay a dividend,
yep,
from the loan. And what them name just did that? Indies just did that.
I'm not sure they did it, but it looks like it very much could be that.
Well, if you look at money from the fungible point of view, they took in a loan and then they paid out a dividend. No, dividends are paid from retained earnings, but it's just cash.
I was told specifically that it was paid from retained earnings. I've seen on the last.
But you know that real. what is retained earnings? Retained earnings is not,
Yeah, I
it's not
know.
an account you have in it. You don't call your bank and say, "What's my retained
Yeah, I know
earnings?"
it's not cash. Yeah, I know it's not actual cash. But they
It
had,
can
yeah,
be.
I know they had no, they had an insufficient cash balance. I think they had
So yeah,
what amount it was.
the amount of cash they
But it
had
was
is less than the
insufficient.
amount for the dividends they paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
So
retained
obviously they
earnings
got
could
some
well and
cash.
manage it. So you know what happened. Then they needed money to come. They need some cash to come in for them to be paying out that cash. So either new business or the part of the loan money we pay out.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
definitely think the part of the loan.
No, there's no think. That's what
Yeah, there's no
that
think, yeah,
happened.
for sure.
That happened. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
yeah. But dividends are always paid from retained earnings. I mean, it's just it's literally how you book the movement of it.
Yep.
I personally don't have an issue with it, but I do
Me
know
neither.
that classic accountants classic Jamaican accountants have been trained, in my view, to see it as wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you mention it to one of them, they will tell you, say, no, that not sound right.
Yeah, until
But no, yeah. And it's so funny if you look at the American market, it's a very look at the history of corporate raiders and what they do when they actually go into a company. I buy your near dead company, but it have 100 million in retained earnings. And I make your near dead company take out some very big bonds, and I pay out the whole 100 million in the retained earnings. And whatever you have left, I tell you that, listen, you guys need to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what we did? We paid it as dividends. And guess who was the chief shareholder? Me.
Yep.
And maybe the company dead tomorrow, but I bought the company for 500 million, or I bought the company for 20 million. We paid out the 100 million in retained earnings through a $200 million bond that we took. And you have another 100 million left, and you need to fix operations or figure it out. I don't know, but
Yep.
thank you for paying out this 100 million.
Like, oh, and then again, you come at the end of the day, now when the company is looking very dead, and the bondholders have to hold us and say, guess what? Either I take the company and fix it up, or else my money dead.
That's true.
But the
And
dividend
usually
don't pay already. So
yeah, and usually the same equity holders buy a nice chunk of the bond also.
yep.
And even if you don't, there's like some real finance. Even if you
Mhm.
don't, because you have paid out all this money from the company that you may take on such heavy debt, the bond gets downrated and people start to sell it for cheaper than you listed it for, and then you turn around and buy it back.
Yep.
Yo, big up Digicel. What's our next? What's our next stock? What's our next stock?
I did not want
I'm
to
pretty
say
sure. Okay, let me be clear, people. I don't know of Digicel doing anything like that. I can't take a lawsuit, but big up Digicel. That's all I'll say.
Oh,
It's
regarding the
good
question,
business.
and you're talking about Guardian earlier,
Mhm.
with the credit losses and I think you
Expected,
guys spoke
expected
about
credit
it.
losses, yeah.
Yeah, expected credit losses. I mean, you spoke about it before I got here, but for general accident, do you think that, in light of COVID, do you think that ECL is going to be significant for them?
I think ECL will be significant for general accident. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know.
how
I
much
think
of the
do
business is.
insurance companies have to book it like that? I
Oh,
mean,
it
Yeah,
depends.
it still falls under the same IFRS 9. I thought it was just for, for like loan profiles, but it also applies to
The
insurance
premiums.
companies. Yeah,
insurance premiums. Oh, yes, they have to book
premiums.
that. Yes, that is true. An
So
increase
if
in.
the climate overall basically changes, they have to adjust it based on whatever
But do they have to
situations
adjust
they
it,
have.
or does it mean that they might have to face higher premiums due to reinsurance risk?
I think they have to book more. They have to have an increase in the provision for the IFRS 9.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this. Dana and I actually didn't even talk much about how we actually talk about this. We don't talk much about it on the show anymore. Well, I'll say something real that I do. I wouldn't know. What I do is I go and look at other
Yep.
insurance companies.
Or check if IFRS makes specific note towards that exactly. So IS has a lot of information on how to treat things. So
Sorry, no, we're being silly.
No, I know it's treated
Sagicor just had to book a huge amount. So obviously, yeah, it was going to happen to GENAC also. It's going to happen to
who did what?
Guardian, GHL. Yeah.
Who
Because Sagicor just had to book a heavy amount of ECL. Sagicor Financial.
But there was it from the thing there?
It was mostly from the American business, but I think all their business lines felt it.
Yeah, but as in, is it from banking or in insurance? Or what side of the business actually gave them that heavy that number, the
Insurance,
ECL
as
number,
far as I know.
or they comprise that ECL number?
Insurance, as far as I'm going off the top of my head, but I believe it's insurance, and I believe it's the American arm of the insurance that was expected to get the biggest hit.
I think the American is insurance license. Yeah, I think America has an insurance license for it. I don't think they have any banks in America. So
yeah, so it would be the American.
Yeah.
I know the American side is where the hit came from. So it's
definitely need to check it, but yeah, so I think it's on it, right?
Yeah. So I think off the top of my head, I think that uh they would have some ECLs there. But I also feel so good about GNAC that I mean, if that you see how these guys are smart. They increase their business and their business lines during this time. So even if they have to take a bigger hit, it is a much bigger organization than it was last year that now has to take this hit.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they're fine if the share price drop. For me personally, I'm speaking just personally here. If the share price drop anything below $4, I'm buying it. All right. That's for me personally. The share price, no, I buy. So I don't.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't expect anything bad from it. They are in their growth phase. This is an example of, in my view, of a company taking advantage of
Right,
other companies. Yeah, the situation and strengthening themselves when everybody is weak. This is how it looks. I don't
and
even
where
remember
they're
how
strengthening is where they were weakest at first.
I don't know if they're weakest. I
Motor.
mean they
Yeah, that's where the last I
oh,
recall on the breakdown, everything else was good except for motor.
well, motor is the greatest risk, right?
Yeah, motor,
Right.
motor, yeah, motor. Across the board for general insurance companies, motor insurance
Yeah.
really, it's not great for them.
Yeah, but and the way in my view, I have a view of the insurance industry, and I'm still building out my view in terms of my full understanding of the insurance industry.
Mhm.
But I believe scale is the friend there, right? I made a tweet the other day saying that insurance is the new banking. Yeah, I've been thinking
People
that for
message me
about a
about that,
year.
Randy.
Huh?
People message me asking what you mean in my head. I'm like, why I do ask
Yeah,
Randy
why?
what he mean?
That's good because I was wondering like when people message me and tell me things. So I'm like, yo, you know him. I just tell him. Like it's a good compliment. Tell him. You know, I feel good hearing it. Yeah, it's the same thing. If you want to know what I'm thinking, ask him. But what I mean, we can. I plan for us to do an entire show on that, so I won't go too deep into it here. But insurance is a new banking, and it's not accidental that so many banks are looking at insurance,
Exactly.
right?
Yo.
Yeah.
it, it's just
NCB
like
is no longer a
investments other
banking
day.
group. Say that
Investment
again.
like investments other day. It just
Yes.
make
Yeah. Simple sense.
look at things. What you got it again? GK Financial. With
Yes. Look at the GK group.
Watson. GK Group, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
GK
Yeah.
Group, thank you. Yeah. Across the
Yeah.
board. Yep.
Or to name them properly, the GK Financial Group.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
GKFG.
That's the Miss Birdie of the financial sector.
Pop up. And
Everybody just a talk like so we ever hear that name before. Man, they just drop it on everybody. Oh yeah, GK Financial Group. I know them. From where? When's the last time you heard it? that does where they that name so. You should be jumping around the place when you hear that I'm moving around. But yeah, boy, you guys carry us on this tangent, but it's a good tangent. Insurance is the new banking. Leave with that. Just trust me on that. And yes, insurance and banking face a lot of the same risks. But one of those businesses is obviously better if what you want is to hold money in your hand. I don't even remember how we got here. How did we get
But I
down
was
this
asking
tangent?
about them because
So that
It-
why were you asking?
yeah, I asked about GENAC because you were talking about GHL.
and the
Yeah, man. I
ECL.
wanted to know why you wanted to know about GNAC.
Why I wanted to know about it?
Yeah, man. Outside of that,
Repeat that. I didn't hear.
yeah, as in what else would have why what's the interest that you have in GNAC?
Oh, I was thinking about off the top, I was thinking that with less activity, it's not based behind like a statistical premise, but I would think what are the odds of the premiums, I mean, staying the same and the payout is more. I think that the spread will be greater throughout this period. So regardless of whether or not they have the expected credit losses booked, I would think that they'll be in a better position because it might be likely that they'd have less payout and similar or more intake.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you go on to go into the depth of the business, what I said was that insurance is a business that benefits from scale. So you notice that how these companies have if you pay attention to the sector, you know, so these companies have protected themselves when faced with issues, when faced with business arms that weren't as profitable. GK, Seprod, cut them off. When faced with insurance problems that aren't as profitable, GENAC didn't cut them off. They just went bigger. NCB went bigger. Sagicor went bigger. Scotia, I mean, some of that to pay, but you notice that they all go bigger. GENAC has an issue, just like Danai pointed out, where the part of their portfolio that gave him the most issues would be the motor. So the man them go to Trinidad and buy Trinidad's biggest motor insurance company that's scaling up. Key Insurance, probably the worst run insurance company, definitely on the market. In the past, in terms of the results,
The things change now.
What did they do? They didn't get smaller and cut off the terrible part. No, they integrated into a group that's bigger. Scale is the friend of the insurance business, and so
not Mr. Buffett.
Yeah, why
with that float. No, you have to go there.
You go there.
Then am I again? See, with the float thing, look at GENAC's last thing there. Look at their GENAC's last results. If you look at they've increased the motor on stake is now being booked, and their profitable point. But look at the actual thing there, the investment portion of investment income that's gone up.
Of course, because you have a bigger float from
more money coming in.
That's the second thing I wanted to say.
That was a Buffett point.
Based on Dundas' point, that was the second thing I wanted to say, which was that the premiums cannot stay the same. Premiums have to be raised. You already saw there's an article a couple weeks ago.
Yep. Talking about the reinsurance.
It never even made any sense. There's something like their reinsurers are it's like them passing the buck, but the end result is expect higher premiums.
Yep.
Across the industry. That's a must. Insurance is a new banking, of course. So you're going to pay more. And Jamaicans generally, if you bring it to Jamaica, Jamaicans are underinsured. We are underinsured. You see that when you go to any other country and talk to the people or in the real life. I mean, you can get insurance. My phone is insured. I say that all the time. My phone is insured in case it breaks or somebody steals it or whatever. Or
Pet insured. My dog is insured.
There we go. Yeah, so Jamaicans are underinsured because human beings would have enough insurance and would have enough health insurance, would have enough life insurance, believe it or not. So insurance is new banking. We're going to do a whole episode on it, but that's my thoughts on GENAC as it is. And GENAC is an insurance company that I do feel nicely about. I believe I do as well. Yeah, I want to say I'm a shareholder, but I'm not sure if I'm a shareholder.
I'm not a shareholder anymore. So what happened? I bought in, got the rise, sold. When it fell, I planned to buy again. I just missed my stop. I missed where it was.
You miss your stop.
What's that again?
No, it's actually I am a shareholder.
The Forex people, they stop loss.
Stop loss. Yeah. I actually am a shareholder, and I won't get too much details on my portfolio, but I am a shareholder and I will continue to be a shareholder. It's a good time to buy, in my opinion, but I am not a licensed investment advisor. And you should speak to your licensed investment advisor about buying into something like this. But for me, it is a good time to buy, and I will be buying more. You know what? I can feel myself regretting not saying more on that point or cutting it out. Again, not a financial advisor, and I'll tell people what happening here. Right? If they have to face ECLs, I'll probably just buy when the price drop even more.
Yep.
If you're okay with the current prices.
If I'm okay with the current prices, I buy at these prices, and I will be buying when it falls more, and I will be very happy when it flies. But because I'm impatient, I'll buy now. And when it falls more, so that when it comes back to this price where it is now, and I think it's undervalued now, when it comes back to this price where it is now, I will be even happier. Right, which is a little thing I learned from I think our next stock. No, it's not our next stock. We're just talking about QWI. Bring us right back to it. It's not the next one, but our next stock is RJR. Wow, RJR, Radio Jamaica Limited.
RJR.
Right.
Funny. RJR that big rise other day. on basically nothing, in my opinion. And no, I seen it's
Yes.
looking worse. It's looking worse.
Yeah, I don't know why. Well, I know I have my
I have my
views.
theories, yes.
Yeah, I don't know why it rose. But and I think it's just a matter of how the market stay. But it was at one point it fell below $1. No, so no, wow, no, it's been in the dollar
It's
range,
been dollar range
$1
for the
9
longest
cents,
while.
$1. Yeah, for like since 2018. It had a nice rise mid 29, like a year, about almost a year
Yep.
ago. July,
Everybody
August
calling that I
2019.
want for RGR, White Rise. You buy RGR, you get none. Everybody was on
You
it.
know,
And it's funny.
but they do it still. Yeah, definitely
Bought
did
it?
it. Yeah, definitely traded it from
Why?
because it was moving within our range. It's just a day trade, intraday trade.
Word,
I
you
was
do
not.
that?
Yeah, that's a must.
Really? I don't know if it's a must. I
I
don't
mean,
know it.
for me, it's definitely a must. I enjoy it. I enjoy like being immersed in the market. So
Enjoying it is one thing. Do you do it profitably?
Mhm.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I've been doing it hard since. Well, I have been doing it hard since like March, and the only loss I've taken intraday was recently I took a loss on SVL, but that was I did it for the dividend, and the dividend net me out in a profit. I haven't taken any losses since March.
What you say?
But I
So
mean,
whether
obviously, if it starts as intraday, but if it doesn't go right, I don't mind holding.
well, yeah. I mean, everybody uses that kind of safety. I'm sure a lot of people listening to this would have done that sort of safety with indies or
We're doing with General Affairs
Uh,
just last week.
recently Mailpac as well.
Mailpac is the other one I was about to mention. I think now when people hear this, so people are hearing this on Wednesday, and if you're listening to this on Wednesday, July 15th, it's too late. That's how it works? It's too late. Today's X date, right? Or is today the last day to buy?
I think
It's
No,
a
tomorrow.
Sunday.
I think tomorrow's the last day to buy.
The 16th? No, the
tomorrow, as
No,
in
15th
no,
would
the
be the
13th. Isn't
the
the 18th
the
today?
15th would
13th.
be so.
No, man, the
Yes.
Guys,
15th,
sorry,
man.
you didn't catch me. So people are listening to this on the 15th of July. So somebody's listening to this in their ears right now, and it's Wednesday, the 15th of July for them.
Oh,
And so I'm saying, if you are hearing about Mailpac's dividend right now, then it is too late because the
That
X
is
date
true. That
is
is the X
today.
day.
yeah, that's
Yeah, so yesterday would have been the first day for you to buy it. And a 4 cent. This is the big 4 cent dividend. I should be going up for this. Yep, this is the reason why you guys are on the show. So you guys got the 4% right. The 4%ers are here. Who was in the conversation? Because I remember seeing it on IG, but I don't remember who the names
Uh,
were in the conversation.
I was in
The one
the
on the
conversation and Malik was in the conversation.
And I hear is Schaunn and
Schaunn
Malik,
Thomas,
who
yeah.
isn't on. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So
not here today.
just run people through your thought process for why it was that you saw the dividend coming, and you guys did call it at 4% exactly, 4 cents exactly.
Malik called it at 4 cents exactly. I said 2% yield on current prices. So 4 cents as well.
Okay. So somebody in the conversation had said definitely above 2%.
Yeah,
cents.
that was me, where I said I expect
Okay.
about 2%, but definitely above 2 cents.
Yeah, and I like that sort of logic. Yeah, boy, I tell you guys continue to be impressive with this investing thing,
Yeah,
That's the same sort of safety logic I use. That's why I know. Say you also do the short-term trading, Schaunn.
my term is a bit longer than you guys, so I don't really do intraday or within a week per se. But I know why I buy a stock. I know what I'm expecting out of it, and I wait on that to happen. So like
Bossy.
Mailpac, I bought Mailpac in March was when I took my position.
Bossy.
Yeah,
Yo,
because
you're-
when their
Man, I forget
statements
some
came
rate the
out
youth
in
them in the
March.
dog.
Yeah, so what I did was when they put out their statements in February, right? I saw, which was for the December quarter. I saw that they had more cash than they expected to have in the prospectus. I think like $20 million more, right? So I was like, okay, that cash has to be doing something at some point. Then in March, Corona happened or whatever. The local, I saw the article came out. I think the article actually came out in April, but I started buying before that.
Which
But the article that came out in April where they was talking about the re-ink the deal with PriceSmart, within that article, what's his name? Kyrie Robinson had mentioned that they had to hire about 30 new staff, add 5 new vehicles to the fleet within that week, and that since the advent of COVID, orders had gone up nearly fourfold. And I'm like, all right, so clearly they're beating projections again. So I said, all right, that cash, it would make sense to me if they would just pay it as a dividend, especially because they're recently listed, and then the bank restriction on dividends came out, and I was like, that's just even more incentive to pay a dividend.
Right. That's good. I like how you're on point, and let me try help tighten up your points a little bit there. The bank restriction on dividends, the BOJ restriction on dividends is a good point to note, but then you also have to remember the people behind the business, right? If you want to speak directly, not knowing like Kari's business, you would expect that the bank dividends wouldn't affect him, right? However, you have to think about what else is Kari doing, what's the things happening around the mail, not just the Mailpac group, but
Norbrook.
the Norbrook investment group, right? What is the things expected, and what do you need in those sort of situations? I know I'm speaking a little vaguely, but I mean people can put two and two together. But if you look at those situations, you can see where it makes perfect sense to have cash, right? No,
Indeed.
add to that Corona, right? Corona is great to ball about if you're on Twitter or if you're on the news, but when you're at a certain level of business, Corona, as I just said a little earlier, is a great time for you to do investment. It's a great time to invest. Now is a great time to have cash in your hand. You're getting all kind of deal. It could be Miss Birdie crackers for cheaper, or it could be a hotel in Portland. Everybody's getting great deals now, right? So even at the level of a Norbrook Capital where Kyrie Robbins would play, it would be great for him to have a lot of cash on hand. So it's no surprise then that you see a larger than usual dividend being paid by a company like this. And also note that Kyrie is not, in my view, the typical usual Jamaican investment type, right? I think he's more aligned towards the US markets, more advanced markets. And within advanced markets, this isn't anything unusual. It's a strong dividend for Jamaica, but in terms of advanced markets, see,
Indeed.
You guys did the calculations against the dividend policy that was in the
prospectus.
yeah.
I took it into consideration, but I weighed in their debt more.
Was there 4 cent versus IPO price dividend in line with their policy or ahead of their policy?
That's what I was saying. I didn't really give it as much
You didn't
focus in
calculate
the
it like
thing.
that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just checked it to see what the policy was, to know how much they couldn't pay out.
Well,
To know
that
what was
policy doesn't stop them from doing anything. They can go
Well,
above
yeah,
it,
I
they
know
can go
they could
below
go
it.
above it if they wanted, but I just wanted to know, like, based on the policy, what was the maximum that I should be expecting based off of what I saw in the book.
You said they can go above the policy.
They can do
What is the
whatever they
policy?
want. Is their
Policy
policy.
Is there
just say
money?
up to okay. Right.
Yeah.
Policy says up to 75%.
Yeah, it's not a
But
government policy. It's them say, all right, 75%.
all if it's a government policy, apparently you can do whatever you want.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of I'm saying that, and I'm sure there's somebody shaking them head at them speaker now, going, "No, you're being irresponsible." But it's the truth. Meaning, for example, the BOJ request, because you have to say it's a request, right, to banks to hold off on dividends. It is a request.
indeed.
The policy doesn't stop them.
Yeah.
The law doesn't stop them. The banks can, if they wish, pay a dividend right now of whatever amount they want, as long as their cash position and their retained earnings allows them to. But they're being asked not to, right, by BOJ, because BOJ can make it very uncomfortable for them if they do, but they can't actually stop them as long as I think their liquidity is above a certain level, meaning their cash position, their capital ratio,
ratios that
I
they have
think.
to fill in,
Yeah, once, and they're way above it. All of them are way above it. But it's a request. So yeah, I don't know that the policy is going to stop you. The policy can be changed if it's private sector, and the policy can also be changed if it's public sector. They say there's nothing that is illegal if 100 well-placed businessmen decide that it should be legal. Yeah, but this is 100% legal, and I just like that you guys are really impressed with the conversations that you had around coming to that dividend, and how you came at it, how you see it, and then of course I assume that you guys didn't leave it in just talk. Did you guys actually invest towards it?
I had a good little portion. It was a decent percentage of my portfolio at the time when the run was happening.
What you say? Oh, so you got the run, you never got the dividend?
I still have some left back.
Okay.
But you know, you have to.
Okay.
I was.
Yeah, but no,
If I bought in
no
March, you
stress.
can expect I was up a decent little portion at the time.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah, man. A while ago, I buy. A while ago, I buy it either. But no, but
yeah, isn't me?
what
So
you think? How
I
you
took a
think I
little
just
profit
happen
after.
to just know the article you're talking about?
Yeah, man. I know, man. I
As
listen.
it come
I
out,
listen. You know, as the episode them drop,
yeah,
I listen. My
yeah,
Google
man.
podcast set to auto download and everything.
You're the man. Fun, big up.
Yeah, man.
but
Definitely.
yeah, you're right. It was a great sign, and it's good to see those signs. And you are benefiting even if you hold it now. I wish this was coming out earlier with people here, but so you go. You're hearing it now. I'm sure there'll be more. But yeah, Mailpac is the second impressive dividend because we saw Indies, similar sort of thing with Indies, but Indies get a whole heap of pressure in the queue.
Yep.
Mailpac don't get as much pressure.
Saying was against Indies.
Yeah, it really looked that way. So Indies date gone. So Mailpac, let me wrap that. Well, if we got here from RJR, wow, that's how that's how RJR just throw a loop out there. RJR, there's nothing much to say. Until something is going to cause their business to suddenly be better or more efficient, I don't see anything that is going to help them to do anything impressive within the space that they are. All right. The last I remember, I think they were going for some online sort of things. I think Fame now have a thing on TV. So there's no radio on my TV. I don't know. I don't know. It's a
I think they have to get creative.
yes.
They're definitely gonna have to get creative.
Well, they needed to have gotten creative 2 years ago.
We're on
Also
that
agreed.
Yeah. I remember that thing when it came out. That in fact I was going to say it then, but I believe it still exists right now. Let me see if I'm incorrect. RJR's, as we speak, RJR's market cap is 3.14 billion Jamaican dollars, not million, billion with a B. And the lab is 2.3 billion Jamaican dollars. So there's a point though, and that's the lab at $2.51. There's a point when lab was at $3 and over $3, where its market cap actually passed RJR. Which would mean that in terms of market cap, the lab would have been a bigger company than RJR. Imagine that. That's just to show you how the entire face of Jamaica has changed in terms of not just investing but business.
Yep, wherever it is.
Yeah, RJR to me, I mean, I don't own any and I don't plan to own any unless them do something impressive. They're not that impressive. Their share price isn't impressive. They're overvalued in my view. And good luck to the people who own it. Yeah, good luck to them. Next up, we have ROC. Yeah, insurance company. This one we haven't spoken about in a while. That I think we spoke about it maybe earlier this year or last year, but I don't think we've really spoken about it.
Yeah, I haven't spoken about it much since. So.
In a bit. The principal of this company died. Legendary investor.
Yeah, man, legendary.
Yeah,
that man had a hell of a hands in a lot of places.
Yeah, legendary investor. And now I think they've supposed a couple of results since then. But they continue to be strong. At one point, as probably the most excited about them in terms of the insurance industry.
Yeah.
And I'm still excited about them because what happens is that they don't have the same sort of overheads that all the other insurance companies have, right? Because they're young, they're new. I'm looking on the wrong thing, sorry. But yeah, they're new. Iron Rock, I think up to the 31st of March 2020, they had a loss of 2.8 million on the quarter. And just for some comparison, they usually have losses in a couple of quarters. But last year was, I think it was the first year that they registered a full year profit. I could be wrong. Yeah, 5 million in profit. And those numbers sound low, but don't be fooled. Insurance is the new banking. This is a nice, small, new insurance company with good backers.
Finding their strength.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're not really they're not selling in the same way as others. So you can see where if they refine their model as it is and then open to a wider market, then I can see where they'll do better.
You know, it's funny. big up Young Braham, who sent me an article from the Sunday Gleaner where they were talking about Scotia. So the Scotia sale of their insurance arm to Sagicor Financial did not go through in Jamaica and Trinidad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the impression that, and this is his thing, big up again, but the impression I got, and he got, I should say, because I haven't reread it yet. But the impression I got from it was that it was more a matter of Sagicor it not being the best buy for Sagicor because of, I mean, the regulatory hurdles and the extra cost that would cost them to buy it. But it didn't seem like Scotia was not interested in selling it. So who knows? Maybe Ironrock can raise some money and grab they immediately just level themselves up in the insurance business, because you'd buy a local portfolio worth, I'm going to say, billions. Yeah, if it fits within your business model. So there are many opportunities out there for them. I have liked them for a long time. How you feel about them, Dana? How you feel about them, guys?
I just about to say, man, you can see where they're growing. One thing I like when I was looking at the numbers right now, look at the claims expenses. The stability across year over year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 27 million last year,
and 27 million
and this year 27.6. And that's up to March, so that includes a little bit of the corona.
Yep.
Yeah. This quarter, meaning April, May, June, will be very interesting to see. Especially to see what the ECLs do to them. How do you guys feel about it? Henel, Schaunn, Dundas?
I haven't looked much into them, so I'm not in a position to speak on them.
As well, honestly. Not gonna cap.
Okay, no problem. I assume the same for Dundas.
One thing I will say to you guys though, it's best to look everywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't identify opportunity by seeing the same things you've been seeing. It quickly becomes, I've seen it for myself, I'm sure Randy has seen it for himself, it quickly becomes that you're looking too much at the same stocks, and then you start wondering,
what
are
else
these my
happens?
own opportunities? Something happening here. You see, Dundas in investor group. So you've seen me ask, is there anything else? Can we talk about other stocks more than just
apart from what we talk about every day?
Every day we talk about the same stocks. Then what new are we learning about these same stocks? So
exactly.
Agreed. As of recent, I started to expand my thing a bit more. Cause I was trying to download like all the statements and try to keep current, but then now I just look and I download them same way now because I've already created all the folders, so it's easy to save them now. But yeah, so but that's pretty recent. That's literally since Corona and school became online and everything.
Okay, I like that. But you don't have to kill off yourself with no big process like that, now, brethren.
No man, it's just like you see them. I mean, I check the news at the end of every day still. Like the end of about 6-7 o'clock, I check the news and I check it before trading every day. So it's not any real difficulty for me to save them, because it's not like you have to open it to save it.
No man,
it's
not the saving. It's not the saving I'm worrying about. That's
the checking
fine.
of all
I
of
do
them.
the same thing. Yeah, I'm talking about knowing it. I think that's what Dana's point was, knowing every company.
Oh.
Yeah, and I encourage anybody who's serious about the market to do that. And you don't take no great thing. Go on JC website, click on the same little top right link. And just it start with 138 student living. And you've never heard of that company before, boom, there's your first company.
What does it do?
View.
Yep. Open the last annual report and open.
And go from there,
even just to read the note one, what are the principal lines of business for this company? And then just open the annual report and look into it deeper.
Yeah, going to just know every company. If you're serious about the marketing, you're going this hard.
Because the moment you read a news article, you start picking out, how can this benefit whatever company? Just because you know that company more than just, you know what that company does.
Agreed. Yeah. It's actually, since I was listening to this thing, I heard Dana mention one time about the Google alerts that he used. And that has been a lifesaver from that. I also heard the Pocket app when I mentioned with another guest one time. And also a lifesaver.
That Telegram channel.
Yes.
Yeah, I see you send it, but
yeah, I don't know if I've mentioned it on this before. I should mention it.
I don't know,
There's a Telegram channel.
There is.
I'll put it in the comment in the
show notes.
Yeah, I put in the show notes for anybody interested. But there's and if you heard me say this, you might be wondering where's the Telegram channel that helps you to keep up to date with all the news and events around the JSC. And you think Randy said it, let me message him and ask him. But I'm gonna save you the trouble. Right now, go in your show notes and you will see a link to the Evermickle channel. There's no chat in there, so you don't have to worry about people running off your ears. It's just news. It's an easy place to collate all the news and also all the results go in there. All the results, all the notices, everything. It's just an easy place for you to stay on point with everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so check it right now. I would say it if I could say it, but I don't know if there is a easy link. There is an easy link. I'm going to say it also, but it's still in the show notes. T.me, that's the letter T.me/Mickle Signals.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it again. T.me/Mickle Signals. So just like every Mickle Signals. All right. You can go there, keep up with it, keep up with your portfolio, what's happening, and it will help you stay on top. But yeah, guys, I can't stress that enough. Just know the market that way. And you know what? Just think about this. You ever read an article, I won't say any newspaper name here, but you ever read an article in any newspaper about something that you know on the market, and you read the article, you wonder, yo, who the hell write this?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right? Cause you're like, yo, this is not what is happening in the company at all. Right? This is not what was announced. You can tell that the person that write this don't really know what's going on and just kind of just saying that the
Like,
words.
I need to report this because I work under this thing there. I work in this department of the newspaper.
Yeah, them stuck me on the finance desk, which happens all the time. So think about that for a company that you know, right? And then think about that for a company that you don't know.
And you get the news from.
And you're getting the news from the newspaper.
That's pretty much how I came to the conclusion. Yep.
Yeah, you can't trust.
I was there and I was like, I know I get in the emails and I'm looking at the articles and such. And I'm like, but if I can clearly see the articles that reference the companies that I am interested in that I've set these things for, why would I not just set it for everything? Like, what? So yeah, that's really what it's been. It's expanding, but you can't do everything one time. So it's just over time.
No, that's true. Yeah, man. Take your time and do it. But I just want you to consider also that oftentimes when you don't know about a company or you don't know about it's also for situations where you don't know about a company, the newspaper article you read on it or the article you read on it tends to shape your view of the company.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And when you do know about a company and you read the articles, you're like, no, these people have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Also true.
So I don't want these people that don't know what the hell I'm talking about shape your mind for a company because you didn't know about the company. So yeah, man, know about every company. I can tell you still that it is not hard. And the hardest part is just the first part. After that, it's just a matter of keeping up.
Yep.
So when new things come out, all I'm gonna do is the only time it's hard to keep up is when when it's earnings season and there's a lot of
results and everything coming out one time.
Yeah, just take my time and go through all the little thing. And in fact, a lot of times that's why sometimes you hear us talk so much about the P&L because it's so easy when you know so much about the company already that all you're doing is updating yourself to know how are they doing this quarter.
Yep. Yeah, I had to explain it to somebody the other day.
Trust me.
When they need me to explain stuff to them, because naturally being an accounting major and people see me as part of 876 Invest, they always come to me. Like people who know me before will always come to me and be like, hey, Schaunn, I see you guys doing this. How can I help? And I have to be like, all right, you have to explain to me what part of accounts you know, because all I see these numbers as is the reality of business. I don't see it in the way that you see it. Like it's just, when I look at the number, I see all of the activities that made up the number, because I work in accounts and I've been studying accounts. I know the work that goes into just condensing it down into the statement.
Yes. Yeah, you have a real view behind the numbers, so other people don't see it the same way. And you have a very practical view of it, and then your brethren them also have a practical view. So
agreed. My mother is an accountant as well, so that's been there from I was born. Yeah, and my auntie is an investment banker. So yeah.
Well, you're really set.
It's the right family.
Hold on, does your mother invest? The family thing. Does your mother invest, Schaunn?
But not like heavily. She's very long term, so she'll get her money, put it on something, and then leave it for a while.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
But in different timelines.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's a good move for her mother. I bet it work out. She have NCB?
No, she have GK from cheap.
Oh wow, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
show
man,
them
Schaunn did
$10
that. Yeah,
GK
man.
people.
Yeah, man.
Big up mommy with that. All right. So I know we're not at RJR, we are ROC. So ROC I like them as a company that I think is growing in the space that is going to be blowing up soon,
Yep.
right?
They should find them footing on it and that stock price.
Well, you said I need to find a footing on the stock price.
They should find their footing and then that stock price will do its thing.
Oh yes, that is true. They do. Yeah, they need a win. I mean,
Yeah, man, those consistent profit really, and they'll be fine.
I'll save some of the spicy thoughts I have around them for the for when we're doing our insurance episode. But
All right.
I like them as they are now. I think that they're a little overvalued, but I can see them making moves to get to that value. And also the insurance space is getting hot.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe a nice company, like the company principal, like we say, isn't there anymore. And maybe now is the time to consider maybe, maybe you get bought out. Who knows? Who knows? It'd be so good. Or maybe you buy somebody out. Who knows? But yeah, strong team, strong money. I like them in both the near and the long term. You can ramp with them. All right. So coming up next, we have Salada Foods. Anybody love this? Anybody like it? Hi guys, Randy here again, just reminding you that this is just one part of obviously a multi-part series. We will have the rest of the parts in the future, but we're gonna cut it here. So yes, I deliberately allowed you to hear what would have come next, which would have been Salada. And the next episode when we play it the next episode in the series when we play it will obviously start off at the Salada point. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed.
This is my friend Sam. She used to sing, but she don't no more. Samsung. Ah! Don't leave me! Where you going?